This is Jeff Breedlove with the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse on this very special Giving Tuesday, America Responds to COVID-19, with Bianca Pietro at the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse, who is our Hispanic Outreach Director. And Bianca, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day today.
Thank you for having me.
You know, we are doing, under the leadership of our Executive Director, Neil Campbell, some very important work to go into non-traditional immigrant communities in Georgia, and at the top of the list is the Hispanic community. And you are working with Neil, leading the way to help make new connections, because the opposite of addiction is connection, and to be as inclusive as we possibly can to all of our friends and neighbors across Georgia. Tell us a little bit about some of the great work you're doing with Neil in this area.
Well, I know that one of the biggest things that we've started right now is a online speaking or recovery meeting. And so that so far is happening every Tuesday at 12. And we are also working on building connections with companies and organizations throughout the state so that we can kind of get and continue to build our name and our presence in the community. Pre-COVID, we were working on in-person meetings, all recovery meetings at the St. John Paul II Catholic Church in Gainesville. And we were working also on a listening session at St. Michael's, which is also a Catholic church up in Gainesville. So just trying to get the community together and starting the conversation about, I guess, leading with love and a message of hope that, recovery is possible for everyone.
And that's so important because, we adopted our son. He's from China. English wasn't his first language. He was, of course, younger. But, I understand, I've worked with sister cities in the past that, folks that live in our state and our communities and our neighborhoods where English isn't their first language, oftentimes they feel excluded culturally in a positive way, but they're by no means excluded from the diseases and the bad things, and in our case, substance use disorder. And we want them to know they're not alone.
Absolutely. And I know the Georgia Council is definitely doing their best to make that known.
And it's because of Neil Campbell and Bianca that this is happening. And of course, we have a board member who we want to thank, Dr. Mancini. He's a leader across the nation in this effort, and we're just trying our best. It's a beginning for us. I mean, we're in the beginning stages of these programs. But if you're a viewer on this broadcast and you want to help us reach more people in the Hispanic community, please reach out to Bianca, reach out to Neil Campbell, reach out to me, and we'll get you connected with Bianca. But we want to make as many introductions as fast as we can during COVID and after COVID to let the Hispanic community in Georgia know that they are not alone, that the Georgia Council is there for them. Bianca, I'm so impressed by the virtual all recovery meeting that you set up. Tell us a little bit about your thought process behind that.
Well, mostly I know that I got the idea from the Georgia Council starting the English all recovery meetings. And I saw that it was a really positive place that people could go and just kind of feel connected. And, a lot of us are isolated, and it was just a safe place to talk with everyone about recovery and any kind of topic that came to mind. And so I wanted that for the Hispanic community as well. And so just to have a platform where people would be able to come and just get a taste of positivity in a climate, I guess, that we're in right now, which is very negative.
And, I also want to say, before we close, I was there at one of the large meetings, many hundreds of people at St. John Paul II that night. And what I took away is that initially, when the word reached out to the Hispanic community that they could come to this meeting, there was some understandable resistance. I mean, people in recovery have a lot of resistance in the beginning about things. So, but I witnessed that night, you were up there at the front of the room, and when the people realized that you were speaking to them in Spanish, that built an instant bridge, and it broke down a lot of the negative or fear that was there. And I think that was so special to witness. Tell us why having recovery offered in different languages and representing different cultures is important to you.
It's huge to me. I mean, you want to be able to reach people on their level, wherever they're at. And through their language, that's the best way to do it. You can reach people to their very core, you know, and feel understood and show them that you really do care and that you are in it together and that you're there to be supportive in the way that they need and in their language. What better way? I mean, I know in English we can all mean very well, you know, have good intentions and try to reach people, but the message isn't quite fully present unless it's in someone else's language. And so I think it's just the best way to get to the root of the person and then ultimately, you know, be able to walk beside them as they reach and go on their journey to recovery.
Well, that's beautiful right there, and it's powerful too, and it's real. So before we go, I know that you wanted to give a message to viewers in Spanish, so I'd love for you to deliver that message now.
So, aquí en el GCSA, nosotros queremos que la comunidad sabe que estamos tratando a compartir recursos y información a ustedes y estamos aquí para apoyar a todos.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I know that will matter to folks across Georgia. You know, the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse is excited under the leadership of Neil Campbell to be bringing you innovative programs like this to reach more Georgians and be more inclusive. And if you support that kind of work, we would ask you to remember us today on this very special Giving Tuesday. America responds to COVID-19 in support of nonprofits across the nation. If you're in a position to give, any amount is a blessing to us, from $1 or whatever you can give. It will go to programs like you just heard, programs that are cutting edge, making a difference in the lives of real people across Georgia. Bianca, thank you so much for your leadership today. And as we always say, recovery is real.